This is not the first time I talk about this game. In fact, in the very previous video on the upcoming game, The Finals, I had a moment in which I said this. Especially in 2023, there have been so many games that aren't even fun anymore. Overwatch has become this sad lump of Pixar animation. Valorant has been sad since the day of release, and I'll gladly die on that hill. Now, luckily I didn't get anyone questioning it too much in the comments, like with other videos, but I still think it's a topic that deserves its own video. So let's talk about Riot's first ever FPS shooter, which is probably my least favorite shooter ever made. I'll go over what the game is, why I and so many other people despise it, and what's good about the game. But before we do that, literally 90% of you stinky gamers are not even subscribed! What are you doing? Just go ahead, subscribe, it helps out a ton. Make sure to just click it, and if you want to be notified, you can click the... Now, what is Valorant? Valorant is a tactical class shooter, in which the main objective is to either kill the enemy team or plant a bomb, or how it's called in the game, the spike. To do this effectively, you will be provided with 4 abilities, which in some cases you will have to buy in between rounds, and a handgun called the Classic, which of course you can also replace by buying a gun every beginning of the round. There's duelists who go in quick to get kills, initiators who gather intel on the enemy, sentinels who support their team in whatever the hell they are doing.
For every kill you get, I'll give you an ooh woo.
Alright, bet.
Ooh woo. Ooh woo.
Will you shut the hell up? Get the hell off me!
And the most fun and original class, controllers, who occupy an area and smoke or poison or whatever to provide a safe passage for their team. Within each of these classes, you have a variety of characters to choose from, all with unique abilities, which is where the first problem starts showing its colors. Abilities are rarely used in the midst of combat. Usually it's setting up, providing an engage while behind cover, and very rarely it's an escape tool. Abilities are definitely not intended to be used aggressively, which is why they have an incredibly long interruptive animation, along with a lot of abilities just not living up to the occasional accidental Vandal headshot. I also just dislike these long animations. It makes the gameplay a lot slower, disrupts the flow, and also makes you have to think before you act. And if I want to think while playing a game, I'll play poker or chess, not a first-person shooter. Many of times you will be peeking corners to set up an ability, be in the midst of an ability, or rely on an ability, only to be one-shot by that one guy who only has ever watched American Sniper and probably just removed their WASD keys. And this one-shotting happens a ton, which disrupts the flow of the game even more, because once you're dead, that's it for the round. No Sage, I am not giving you any special attention, go back in your hole. Okay, I guess I maybe did give her some attention, but whatever. Now I can see why the one-shotting is satisfying to people, and I certainly do agree that a clean headshot feels nice in the game. However, not all weapons should one-shot on a headshot. There is barely to no fall-off damage in the game, and as I mentioned before, the spray of the Vandal is so out of proportion that it happens accidentally. And it's even more frustrating than that one League of Legends teammate.
Why are you thumbs-upping like you did anything, you again? You did nothing. I ran under a tower, you piece of shit. Your dog outplayed.
By the way, speaking of the Vandal, this gun. A good game has a different meta every season, but this gun always stays on top no matter what. Okay, that's also some personal frustration, but new weapons barely get added. If you ask me, they should rotate weapons sometimes, because playing 13 plus rounds of Vandal Simulator gets kinda boring. Oh, yeah, wait, did I not mention that? Every normal or competitive game requires one team to win 13 rounds by either killing the enemy team or planting/defusing the spike. If no one surrenders, which is pretty likely because no matter how bad the mental is of the average Valorant player, they will never give up as easily as a League player. But this means that the game goes on from 13 to 25 rounds. And when you're further into the game with several rounds and both their teams have earned their cash, it just gets still and repetitive. This means if you have a very bad game, you won't earn enough money to make a comeback. Plus, you'll be stuck in there for at least another few rounds. It's a snowballing game, but not in a smooth rolling way. Losing in a Valorant game feels like falling through branches and bushes before finally hitting the ground, as opposed to games like Overwatch, League of Legends or Team Fortress 2, where losing feels like a clean drop. This is also why I would say Valorant is the least fun game to lose on. Now granted, they have had Swift Play for a while now, which is a game mode that's just like the normal unrated, but just scaled down. To me that feels great, but also kind of takes away the cautiousness you need to have while buying guns or abilities, since now credits are more easily earned. Still, I prefer this game mode heavily over the longer ones. Now about the characters. I don't really feel like the character design is that original. You have badass but crazy Latina in purple, your average woman healer because male doctors don't exist, your old experienced soldier, a grimy ghost man that talks about shadows all the time, and
Last player standing. Spike down mid.
from the shadows. His ultimate is literally called From the Shadows, which is what Reaper says when he teleports. It cannot be more obvious than that. And oh my god, it's a female Junkrat. There are some original characters like Cypher or KO which are great, but I still feel like characters don't stand out. And apart from the characters already being very familiar and mellow, there is also little variation between the Valorant agents themselves. They all play the same because again, abilities don't fit in with the gunplay that smoothly. So playing the hot Japanese colored haired anime man really is not that different from playing the French sniper. Of course there are some differences in playing different characters, and as they should, but it's nothing really substantial. The lore also just does not interest me, which is really strange because usually I geek out on any game lore I can find. But here it's just too familiar. When I said Valorant is the baby of Overwatch and CSGO, I meant it. It shines through in the gameplay, the art style, the lore, and even the community. Well, the old Overwatch community. And I want to talk more about the community, but first. Valorant skins are outrageous. Not only are legendary skins in between the reasonable price of $20 to $50, the weapon skins are often not even worth it. They try their best to make the skins appealing with the final kill animations and other animations, but knife skins don't even get these final kill animations or cool effects sparking from your knife after a kill, even though those are the ones costing $50. It's outrageous! How can you be somehow less reasonable in pricing than Overwatch 2? Okay, I gotta calm myself down. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the community. Because for some reason this game has an insanely active community. Even though Riot didn't do much more than add a voice chat and nothing special social wise, this is still the multiplayer game in which you'll talk to the most people. This used to be Overwatch's strength, but since the removal of Group Finder among other things, people just aren't active anymore. So, if you are a Valorant player hating watching this video because you disagree, from the bottom of my heart I want to thank you for making this game a bit more enjoyable for me. I've laughed and talked with so many people in this game that even though I hate most of the game's core, I can still enjoy it. And there are other good things. As I said, the controller class is very original. The way you can cover an entire site with smoke, poison, or even water to cleverly lead your team through chaos is an incredible way to replace a tank that stands in front of everyone and takes hits. And granted, that would not fit in this game. I would say if you like class and hero shooters, the chances of you liking this game is substantially lower than if you are a tactical shooter fan. Because the abilities are not as flowing as say Overwatch, or Apex Legends, or the finals. And even though to me this game gets stale and mellow after a while, I still see people play it every day. I won't pretend that I understand that, but I am glad you are having a good time. In the case of Valorant, the players make the game. The core gameplay is a little janky, but still a little creative at times. People certainly enjoy it, and because of that, it makes the game more enjoyable for you. So, on the scale from 1 accidental headshot to 100 kills on the leaderboard because you removed your WASD keys, I'll give this a 45. Definitely not my game. Definitely has got its issues, but still enjoyable enough because of the community. If you like content like this, you know what you can do. You can do your usual liking and subscribing and stuff, but if you want to do something more, what you can do is share this video on your Twitter or Instagram and use the tag #EmboComplainsTooMuch. I'll make sure to reply, don't you worry. This is just a little fun experiment I want to try out because the YouTube algorithm hates me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll make sure to see you in the next one.